it's deeply disturbing and emotional when you see that when there's no action taken to support or protect children in these circumstances, and some of the case studies are absolutely devastating, aren't they? But it's also, as you're saying, it's deeply rewarding and emotional in a really positive way when you see, people being treated properly, young people, children being treated properly, getting the opportunities to thrive in society and contribute. And that is such a big difference in the cultural approach to this big political issue, isn't it, at the moment?
Yeah, and I think recognising that every young child has a potential and being able to give them the opportunities and the life chances to achieve that potential is so important. And I think the Scottish Government have really taken a whole picture approach to how you can both enable and give that mobility to a young person to go through their life and have all of those opportunities regardless of background or income.
Well, let's talk about that whole children approach, because one of the successes, in my view, I know you share this view, of the Scottish Parliament was incorporating the UN Charter for Children's Rights, for Human Rights of the Child into Scots law at the last Parliament. This is something that was uniquely, or almost uniquely, a cross-party affair, including every single party in the Scottish Parliament voting for this, and something really to be proud of for everybody that voted for it. I think you would agree with that. But yet there's been a different response from Westminster, hasn't there?
Yeah, and I think this is a prime example. The UK government obviously has international obligations, and the Scottish Government has, of course, taken those international obligations and they have sought to enshrine them in law. Now, no one, I think, conceivably ever argue that the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child is something that would ever be up for debate. It's something that we would absolutely want to enshrine in law, and it's something that we would fundamentally want to ensure that every single child has their rights, their responsibilities and their protections enshrined in law.
It's almost impossible. It's almost impossible, isn't it, to think that somebody might not agree with that?
It's absolutely inconceivable, and I think you can see in the response that many people across the UK have actually said this is quite a strange position of the UK government to take a piece of legislation that the Scottish Government has enacted in legislation and to challenge that in the Supreme Court. And I think perhaps rather worryingly, this is a sign of things to come for the UK government, that we will see more of these challenges to the Scottish Parliament's ability to enact its democratic responsibilities and its democratic duties. And I think we're getting into very dangerous ground when we start to challenge something as sacred as an international obligation or a treaty on the UN rights of the child.